Welcome to Bad Ending Podcast, Abduction Enthusiasts. We're your hosts, Sky.
Daniel, and a special guest, Sham Nice.
This episode will be about unsolved disappearances with the who, what, where, why, and how.
So, how can someone just disappear without a trace?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, we can ask your dad, but I don't know if we could find him. The cases we have today are very strange. Like, these people just disappeared and left no clues to where they went. And investigators are still trying to figure out what happened and where they are. My best guess is that it was aliens.
However, before we talk to our amazing guest, let's delve into some of the most mysterious unsolved disappearances.
The first disappearance we will cover was in 2007 when 3-year-old Madeleine McCann vanished while on vacation with her parents in Portugal. She vanished from a hotel room while her parents were at a restaurant, and when her parents got home, they found the 3-year-old gone. The parents believe that someone came into their hotel uninvited that night before the disappearance because of what the 3-year-old had said that morning. There are multiple suspects in the case, and for a while it was thought the parents could have made the story up after the child had died, but they were cleared later. In 2009, a report from the area said that the neighborhood that Madeleine disappeared in was awash with pedophiles, and that there were 38 known sex offenders in the area. Some speculate that she just walked off, but anyway, no one knows where she is, and the case is now one of the most popular missing cases in the world.
Wow, sounds like they need Chris Hansen.
Honestly, the story sounds a lot like what happened to your dad.
Fun fact, missing and unidentified persons system estimates that there are roughly 90,000 missing persons in the United States alone at any given time. Next, a year earlier, in 2006, Jennifer Kess disappeared from her own home. Jennifer Kess was seen leaving her work. On the way home, she called her family for their daily chat. Once she got home, she did housework and chores, called her boyfriend, and went to bed. Her boyfriend was the last person to ever hear her voice. The next day, when her messages and calls were missed, and she did not show up for work, her parents came to the house. They found the house completely normal, left in a state like she had just left for work. 3 days later, the police received an anonymous call from someone living near Kess's house. The person said there was a car outside their apartment building that matched Kess's car. The police pulled the security footage for the building and they found that someone had dropped off her car and left. In an insane act of luck, the security camera was unable to see the person of interest's face, and the police still do not know who it was. There are currently no suspects in the case and no new leads. The family is still putting up flyers for her.
That sounds pretty bad. I hope it doesn't happen to the person. For number three, we have Frederick Valentich, the disappearance, 1978. What seemed like a normal, routine training flight between Australia and Tasmania would turn into a possible UFO sighting. The Melbourne Flight Service was greeted with these words: "There is an unidentified aircraft tailing me at 4,500 feet." He said that it passed 1,000 feet above the plane, describing it as a shiny metallic vessel with a green light on it and having a bright landing lights. He said it isn't an aircraft before the transmission cut off. The case was quickly closed after the rescue team was unable to find the remains of the plane or any sign of an unidentified flying object. Fun fact: children abducted by violent predators are dead within 3 hours, 74% of the time.
Next up, we want to introduce you to Sham Nice, and here's what he has to say about being abducted.
Hello, fellow abduction enthusiasts. I was flabbergasted when you invited me on your amazing podcast.
Amazing! What can you tell us about what happened on the day you got abducted?
Here's what happened. On November 22nd, 2023, at 12:61, when I was 10 years and 14 months old, I was kidnapped by a scary guy named Julian Ward. On that day, he was driving an old white van that said free candy. I didn't think suspiciously of it back then, so I went ahead to see if he would give me free candy. However, as soon as I knocked on the door of the vehicle, someone grabbed me and put me in the back of the van and took me to his basement. Only then was I able to tell what was happening. Took his fursuit off, so I could finally see who was. I figured who Julian wanted was to be friends. I was wrong. I had to pretend that I would gain his trust. It took weeks of furry cosplaying to finally let me out of the basement and smash my way through his window. However, the story doesn't end there. I had to leave the area. I saw another white van that said free transportation, so I went ahead and knocked on the door. Someone grabbed me, put me in the back of the van, and took me to their cabin.
Wow, that's incredible. What do you think is the most important thing you learned from this?
I think that you shouldn't take free candy from strangers driving a white van.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
Really fun, fun. Fact. Family abductions are incredibly common.
Well, that sounds like a whole lot of bad luck.
That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to join us next time for our final episode, where we're going to be talking about coats and their deep and fascinating history.
For now, don't forget to take candy from strangers in white vans. And one more fun